Hey everyone, my name's Eve and welcome to my channel Pilates with Eve, where I am your pocket guru for all things Pilates, yoga, movement and meditation. Today's class will be a 10-minute energizing yoga sequence designed to wake up the body and wake up the mind. So my friends, grab a mat and let's get moving. We'll begin standing at the front of the mat, big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, and then rotate your palms forward. Maybe just close down the eyes for a moment. And start to connect to your breath. Breathing in, filling your body with fresh air. And then breathing out and really allowing yourself to ground here, on the mat, in the moment. Maybe you're setting a little intention for the next 10 minutes. Bring that intention to the forefront of your mind. Blink open the eyes. And let's flow. Reach your arms up towards the sky. If you can, gaze towards the tip of your thumbs. Exhale, bend your knees, fold over your hips into your forward fold. Now breathe in, bring your hands to rest on your shins, pull your shoulders back, find that flat back. And then breathe out as you bring your hands to the mat, step back into a high plank position. Drop the knees down, lower your chest onto the mat. Hands come just under the shoulders. Let's lift up for a baby cobra. Now from here, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. We'll make our way into our downward facing dog. Hands will be about shoulder width apart. Feet about hip width apart. Tailbone reaching up and back. And actively pressing down with your palms, creating as much length as you can along your spine. Just breathe it out here. Feel free to pedal your feet if that feels good. Before making our way back to the front of the mats, you could just walk your feet and then fold over your hips. Bend your knees, pull your belly button in and start to roll yourself up to standing. Arms will once again lift up overhead. And then let's do that all over again. Bend your knees, fold forward. Hands down onto the floor. Breathe in, rest your hands on your shins, and find your flat back. Breathe out, bring your hands to the floor, high plank. Maybe your knees will drop, or maybe you take your low plank, hovering the chest, before flipping the toes and arriving in your upward facing dog, lifting the heart and shining the collarbones forward. Tuck your toes, slide those hips up and back as we make our way back into that downward dog for a second time. Can you think about drawing the shoulders all the way up and back? Hugging the inseams of your arms in towards your center, really stabilizing the muscles around the shoulder blades. Take one more breath here. Inhale. And then exhale. We make our way to the front of the mat. However you want to get there, fold over your hips. Bend your knees and slowly once again rise up to standing. Arms will reach, palms come together at the top. Let's go for one more round. Folding into your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Finding your flat back. Maybe this time fingertips just brush on the mat. Hands come down to the floor. We step back, high to low plank, or your chaturanga, elbows top to 90 degrees. And then we flip the toes, draw the chest and heart up, look up. Downward facing dog, lengthening and stretching the back chain of your body, and just arrive here. A moment of stillness, a breath or two. Can you create space along every vertebrae of your spine? Tailbone long, reaching up and back. Pausing here for one more breath. Maybe looking at the space in between your hands and making your way, once again, to the front of your mat. Rising up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Reach your arms up high. And then bring your hands all the way down by your sides. Let's use the width of our mat, long stance. Turn your toes out and tee your arms wide to the side. From here, with a flat back, can you hinge forward? Bring your hands down onto the mat. Your fingertips will be in line with your toes. Take a breath in. And then exhale, folding over your hips for your prasarita. Of course, if you need to keep your knees bent here, you can. You think about those elbows being bent, pulling the head through the legs, finding that first inversion, coming upside down, feeling that blood start to pool upside down in the body, that fresh energy. Ground down with the outer edges of the feet and firm up those legs. Take an inhale, find your flat back. Bring your hands onto your hips. With a flat back, rise up to standing. And let's bring the feet together at the front of the mat. Whew. Okay, standing in the center. Last little bit of balance just to fire up the brain. Anchor down with your left foot. Bring the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Maybe it starts to come up a little bit higher, or maybe you're working with the calf today. Anyone that has a half lotus, you could bend that right knee and rest it just along that left thigh. Let's take a moment to arrive here. Wherever you are in your tree pose, you choose. Perhaps your hands will come to prayer. Now find something to focus on that isn't moving and just breathe. Think about drawing that left kneecap up towards the hip socket. Hugging the glutes. Lengthening the spine. One more breath. Inhale. And then exhale. You can release that right leg. Preparing for our second side. Ground down with the right foot. Left knee bends. Sole of the left foot finds that right thigh. Working to level out your hips, to level out your shoulders. Find your prayer. Now one side is going to feel a little bit different than the other. Maybe you feel super stable on this side. You could hang out here for ages. Just become aware of those imbalances. Maybe even closing your eyes to really challenge where you are in space. And from here, go ahead and exhale. Release that leg. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Gaze to the tip of the thumbs. Take one more breath. Folding over those hips. Crown of the head heavy to the floor. Maybe a little rock and sway side to side with your hips. And let's close our practice by rolling up the spine one vertebrae at a time until your head arrives on top of your spine. And that's us. Done. Amazing movement, everyone. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys again next class.